So I usually do my homework. I'll find somebody who knows somebody or something. They could give me some information, like, who is it? Like, who is he? And Frenchie, they got me the tape. They got me the tape of his mother's house, where his mom's work at. You know what I'm saying? The other cribs, the studios, stuff like that.
That's the Cali tape.
Right.
Okay.
I had all of it.
So this is the daughter of the ruler of Dubai, and apparently she uses controversial rule on social media.
Leave it to 50 Cent to keep pressing French Montana's buttons. The man never runs out of ammo, always ready with a slick troll tucked away, waiting to drop whenever French's name pops up in the blogs. But this time, it's bigger than just 50 tossing shade. His latest jab cracked open a whole new conversation. And it's not just about French ducking industry drama. Nah, it's about him running headfirst into something even messier, the gold-plated cage of Dubai royalty. On the surface, the headlines scream flex. French Montana engaged to a Dubai princess. To the casual fan, with her family worth a wild $18 billion, it looks like French finally graduated from street hustler to global kingpin. But scratch past that shiny glitter, and the picture gets real murky. Word is French's exit strategy might be less about romance and more about survival. With Diddy still tangled in federal flames and whispers that the feds are quietly pulling receipts on anyone too close to those bad boy freak-offs, French allegedly needed a plan B fast, and Dubai looked like paradise. But here's the twist. Paradise got shadows too. People who know Dubai's underbelly say it straight. Yes, the skyscrapers sparkle, the cars drip in diamonds, and the money flows like water. But some of those same royals, they've been accused for years of having appetites so wild they make Hollywood scandals look like Disney Channel reruns. The whispers about princes collecting pretty boys, flying out celebs from the West for shady business. That gossip ain't new, and it sure didn't pop up yesterday. So now when people see French, a man known for chasing big bags, wild parties, and cozying up to power, suddenly holding hands with a princess attached to a $7 billion safety net, the math feels way too convenient. Folks ain't saying he doesn't care about her, but they're saying survival might weigh heavier than love. And this is exactly why 50 Shades slices so deep. When he claims French got bought, he's not just talking about the engagement ring, he's talking about the idea that French traded one master for another, escaping Diddy's storm, only to end up locked in another system where he still has to follow the rules of men with endless power and zero accountability. The irony burns. French thought Dubai was his escape hatch, but if even half the stories about those princes are true, he might have walked straight out of Bad Boy's fire right into Dubai's furnace. And unlike the feds, who eventually cut deals or move on, Dubai royalty plays for keeps. That's why this so-called $7 billion escape plan doesn't look like salvation at all. It looks like another shiny trap. French might have bought himself some time, but the real question is, at what cost?
Collar comes out, like we said, and now you have real deals on the table. And out of all those, you go with Diddy.
That's not how it really went.
Was it Diddy? Was it Bad Boy MMG?
Yeah, I went to go see Ross. And Ross was like, I got an opportunity for you. I don't have the money for you, but I got the opportunity. I guess because the same thing Meek did, the same thing Wale did. I guess whatever the way the situation, his label was, he wasn't trying to give me the money I wanted, and I wanted like a whole bunch of money. But he was like, look, let's do it like this. Let's call Puff, and let's get him to give you the bag. You can still be MMG / you know what I'm saying? Bad Boy, Coke Boys, yep.
Right. How much money did you get?
$2 million.
Now let's spin it back, because you can't really understand French's jump to Dubai without first clocking how he even fell into Bad Boy's orbit in the first place. See, French Montana didn't just lock in that deal off one hit like Pop That and call it a career. Nah, the whole story around that signing always carried a funky smell, and with all the dirt that's poured out about Diddy these past 2 years, fans are now looking back with fresh eyes. Here's the part people forget. When French was shopping himself around, he wasn't some random mixtape kid begging for scraps. He had options on the table. Roc Nation came sniffing. Rick Ross and MMG showed serious love. Even Kanye's camp flirted with him heavy. And yet, out of all those power moves, French chose Diddy's table. So the question is, why would a man with multiple offers sign to the one label most infamous for shady contracts, backdoor deals, and extracurricular requirements that allegedly had nothing to do with music? Because Bad Boy wasn't just a label, it was a lifestyle. And for some artists, that lifestyle was the real currency. Whispers say Diddy didn't just offer French a check, he offered the wild access. The parties, the women, the freak-offs, the play nice and get rewarded situations. And fans been side-eyeing ever since. First, because French himself admitted he took less money up front than what Ross or Jay would have thrown him, but he still chose Puff. Second, because every time French was spotted stumbling out of those infamous villas looking drained, the internet clocked it. Photos and videos from 2016 through 2019 showed French looking worn out, and the timing always lined up with weekends Puff was celebrating him. That narrative only got nastier after Diddy's arrest in 2024, when producers and ex-associates started spilling what really went down to secure those deals. One producer even swore Puff blackballed him after he refused to join a freak-off. So of course, when people look back at French's fast rise, they say, oh, so you stayed and took that deal. We know what that means. Is there a signed receipt with French's name on it? No, but the circumstantial tea is boiling hot, like Diddy gifting him a special Ciroc French vanilla flavor the very next day after they were allegedly together all night. Or that viral birthday video, Diddy in a robe, French shirtless, both looking super cozy, and French himself saying he wanted the big bag and Puff was the only one willing to hand it over in the industry. To the streets, it didn't look like a regular label signing. It looked like a man willing to pay a personal price for career elevation. And that's exactly why people now think he's running the same playbook in Dubai. Once you show you'll trade dignity for opportunity, folks assume you'll do it again, just with a bigger bag and a different master.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So here's where the rabbit hole gets deep. In mid-2024, French Montana pulls up at Paris Fashion Week, not just flexing a fresh fit, but allegedly showing off a whole fiancé. And not just any fiancé, Ciara, a straight-up princess tied to one of Dubai's ruling families. Baby, that ain't no regular Bronx love story. That's a power move on a global chessboard. See, at that exact time, the feds were stacking their case against Diddy like bricks. The freak-off tapes, the trafficking whispers, the money laundering angles, it was all heating up. Anybody tied to Puff's inner circle turned toxic overnight. Artists, assistants, producers, even random homies. Everybody was getting subpoenaed, questioned, or flat out grilled. And French, he wasn't just a casual friend. He was basically Diddy's shadow for years. The birthday trips, the champagne endorsements, the constant co-signs. If prosecutors wanted their case airtight, French's name was guaranteed to pop up. So what's his next move? He doesn't just dip out the country, he links himself to one of the wealthiest families in the Middle East. Reports say her Sheikh family is worth over $18 billion. That's oil money, empire money, money that doesn't blink when you throw around $7 billion like pocket change. And marrying into that doesn't just bring cash, it brings protection, status, and a new passport lane. It means residency in a place where outsiders don't get to dig too deep into royal business. That's why the streets are saying French ain't moving for love. He's moving for survival. They pointed how fast the engagement came together, how perfectly it lined up with the storm back in the States, and how French has been chilling more in Dubai than in New York or LA. To his fans, it looks like a whirlwind romance. To his critics, it looks like an escape plan dressed up in Cartier rings and diamond-stamped wedding vows. And the optics, wild. Every time French posts up with his princess, he looks polished, sharper, like he got reborn. But the comments stay messy. Boy, you traded in Diddy for Dubai. Or the even harsher, better hope them sheiks don't treat you the same way Puff did. Because here's the gag. French really thinks he leveled up by running to Dubai. But people who know the history of how Middle Eastern royals flex their power will tell you the truth. Sometimes you don't escape the fire and you just walk straight into a hotter one.
I'll tell you what I actually learned. A friend of mine is an air hostess and her friend was on a flight
with her, and her friend was eating like a very specific diet. So apparently the thing is, it's actually a control thing. I don't know if I can speak about sheikhs.
No, speak.
So these guys actually pay these women to hold a strict diet for like 2 weeks so that they can know that they are in complete control of what that woman is putting into her body, and the girl is shit on them.
Wow.
So the girls aren't even getting shit on, the girls are shit on these guys, because then the guys feel like it's sick, like it's a control thing. So then they know, like, oh, you listened to me for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so that's probably their kink, that girls actually listen to them.
No 2-minute noodle.
Here's the part French probably don't want to hear. Running from Uncle Sam to the UAE doesn't always mean freedom. Sometimes it just means you signed a brand new kind of contract, one you might not ever be able to break. See, Dubai's image is all Lambos, glass towers, and pet tigers chilling on yachts. But the whispers, they've been ugly for years. Influencers flying wide-eyed, chasing that tax-free glam, then sneak back home spilling tea about palace parties where people weren't treated like guests but like props. Men and women both, allegedly, because some royals don't see outsiders as people. They see them as playthings. And once you step into that world, broke compared to their billions, you don't make the rules, they do. Now picture French Montana standing next to Sheikh Amara's family and their $18 billion fortune. He ain't powerful, he's ornamental. He's the shiny foreign celeb they can showcase, but with zero political pull to protect himself if things turn sour. Sheikh Amara is the daughter of one of the most feared autocrats of our modern era. French, he's just a famous outsider with a little clout in the States. That imbalance speaks volumes, and the internet already sees it. They're saying this move doesn't look like escaping Diddy. It looks like upgrading to new handlers. Same dynamic, just a bigger palace. Instead of freak-offs in Miami villas, now it's private Dubai estates with royals who play a whole different game. And let's not forget, Mara's family already got global eyes on them. Remember Sheikh Amara's viral Instagram divorce back in 2024? She stunned the world by dropping her husband with just 3 words, "I divorce you." In royal circles, that was unheard of. Admirable, yes, but also proof of how messy royal life can get behind the walls. Then you stack on her relatives, Princess Latifah's failed escape attempt, Princess Shamsa's alleged abduction, all supposedly tied back to their own father, the ruler of Dubai. And now that's French's new father-in-law. Suddenly that fairy tale glow don't shine so bright. When power that heavy moves against you, freedom ain't guaranteed. That's why the internet clowns this as French's $7 billion escape plan. On paper, it's smart. Marry obscene wealth, lock in residency, and hide behind a royal shield if the feds ever come knocking. Socially, it feels like deja vu. For years, people roasted French as Diddy's boy toy. The shirtless dinners, the birthday serenades, the Ciroc promotions, and now the gossip says he just swapped one sugar daddy for a whole dynasty of them. And here's the kicker, hip-hop always sold French as the underdog hustler, the Moroccan kid with Bronx grit, the Coke boy's pride. But Dubai royalty, they don't play like Bad Boy Records. You don't outshine them, you don't embarrass them, and you definitely don't outlive your usefulness. If even a piece of those whispers are true, French didn't break free from a velvet leash. He just traded it for a golden cage. So yeah, he dipped out of hot water in the States, but in Dubai, baby, he might be sitting right on top of the stove.
Table, and I'm sure there were some other ones also.
Yeah. I came to Steve Rifkin when I had Chopper Down.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in the office, it was him and Gabi.
Yep.
And Gabi was manager. I was like, yo, Steve, give me $200,000. Let me go make music. You know what I'm saying? Just let me. Steve was like, nah, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
Never got it.
Never got it. I dropped
Which is funny because Gabi's the president of SRC. Steve is like the CEO. But
yeah, so I don't know what type of
but Steve makes the final call.
Yeah. So I asked for $200,000. You know what I'm saying? And it's like.
Now here's the real gag in all this chaos. The loudest voice clowning French is none other than 50 Cent. But sit with that for a second. What if 50 ain't just trolling? What if he's really trying to warn him? Cause you know 50 got that big brother energy, the type who will roast you nonstop, but deep down still want you to eat. Yeah, he's been shading French for years, calling him washed, calling him a Diddy leftover. But maybe, just maybe, he sees the trap French is walking into. A trap that doesn't come with chains but feels just like them velvet cages folks whisper about in Dubai. But flip it, what if this don't even feel like a trap to French at all? We look at him like, damn bro, you sold your soul for protection. But maybe this is exactly what he wanted. Some people chase freedom, others chase comfort. French might not see himself as a prisoner inside some palace. He might see himself as the chosen one, the Bronx kid who grinded mixtapes and ended up with gold-plated security. We might call it hell, but for him, it could feel like heaven with AC, chefs on deck, and a driver at his command. That's why 50's jabs sting so much, because deep down they carry truth. 50 built his whole empire on independence, on owning his name, on flipping street credibility into boardroom power. French, on the other hand, might have flipped survival into servitude, but here's the kicker. Who's really winning? The man still fighting for respect in rap, or the man sipping tea behind palace walls, scandal-proof, untouchable, and locked in with a $7 billion insurance policy? It's messy, it's ironic, and it's the paradox French is living right now. To us, he looks like property. To him, he might feel like royalty, and maybe that's the biggest twist of all. 50 Cent can drag him all day, but French Montana might just be smiling, because this was the plan all along. So what do you think? Did French level up or lock himself down? Drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment, and I'll see you on the next one.